He said that there's a possibility that that Aaron Rodgers used a visit with the Pittsburgh Steelers, his first free agent visit, 2 weeks after an offer has been on a table, not to see if he could get to know the Pittsburgh Steelers, not to see if the facility's great, not to see if he could walk through and feel the emotion behind the 6 Lombardi sitting there. And I've been there. I'm there all the time. I've walked through the hallway where you walk through the door and look over and go, damn, there they are. It hits you, gives you the, butterflies. See if Aaron Rodgers felt that same effect. Nope. Aaron Rodgers used it possibly to see if there are leaks in the Steelers building, and they failed. They failed because Jerry Dulac got the news immediately. Well, not immediately. It was like 4 hours into the meeting that Aaron Rodgers was in the building. I'm actually pretty confident that it was right at the end of the meeting that all of this news broke, because I know some who went to UPMC Rooney Sports Complex to kind of wait it out and see him leave and never saw him leave. So I would imagine that as the news broke, he was pretty much near the end there. It's a long flight back to Malibu. You got to get on those things. 2 holes here, okay? The first one, before everybody jumps on the Aaron Rodgers is a jerk, he's using the Steelers, this dude's getting ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And I could be totally off base here. But the first one is this. I'm not going to reveal anything, okay, about what anybody said or who said what to anybody. What I will say is this. Aaron Rodgers would be the easiest name in the whole world to track right now, because every single person in the NFL has their eyes on Aaron Rodgers. Every single one of them. So you're telling me that it wasn't going to get out, that nobody was going to know he was in Pittsburgh? There's hundreds of people in that building, okay? This is not a broken bone. This is not, I'm not vaccinated, but I'm saying that I'm immunized or whatever. This is, he walked through the door, which means that he had to pass not 1, but 2 security checkpoints, okay? That's plenty of security people. The people at the front desk, the entire cafeteria is on his left. There's got to be at least 1 maintenance guy walking around, and maintenance guys are awesome, okay? He met with a dozen coaches. I bet you he met some players who were in the building, some random former players who were in the building, and you're telling me not one person was going to casually send a text to somebody and say, hey, Aaron's here today. That's pretty big. Just not even thinking about it. It's getting out. It's the easiest thing in the world to get out. Aaron Rodgers wasn't using the Steelers as a leak test, okay? So let's shut down any conspiracy theories of Aaron's wild and this dude is in here just looking to play games with Pittsburgh. It was genuine. Everything I've been told is that it was genuine, that Aaron Rodgers is really respecting the way the Steelers are going about this. And the Steelers are trying to respect the other side of this with Aaron Rodgers. Was he using it for leaks? Was this a test for the Pittsburgh Steelers to pass and say, hey, we're rock solid in here, okay? This is Alcatraz. Nothing's getting out, okay? Not here. Not in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, I think that's a joke. To be completely honest, that is 100% a joke. This isn't college football and you're sitting at Cal, right? This is the NFL. There are so many eyes. There are so many people plugged in. There are leaks in every building. How else do you think Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport have their jobs and get paid so much money? It's because they just have connections in all 32 buildings. Well, even local people have connections in these buildings. So no, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is sitting there saying, well, if there's a leak, I'm not going to Pittsburgh, or if there's a leak, I need to know before I even sign. It's like, no, he expects this. The guy has been in the Green Bay Packers building for a decade plus. He's now been in the New York market with the New York Jets for 2 years. It's part of the job. Aaron knows that. I don't think, Aaron is a very private person, but I don't think Aaron is silly enough to think that maybe if I go to Pittsburgh, there's not going to be a lot of leaks. There's not going to be a lot of stories about me. I'm going to be able to have my privacy in Pittsburgh. Yeah, maybe more so than New York, but it's not always going to be 100% when you play that position in this league. So the fact that that would be the entire purpose, that he flew from Malibu to Pittsburgh for 6 hours, seems a little bit ridiculous to me.
Absolutely wild. There's like there's zero. There's nothing behind it to say this is what it was. Aaron Rodgers is using the Pittsburgh Steelers because he needs to make sure this place nothing gets out of here. Dude, what are you talking about? You're in Pitts again. Nothing was signed. There were no negotiations. You want to know what this was? Hey, Mike, great to meet you. Here's the blah blah blah. You met too many people. Something was getting out. Okay, this isn't organizational leaks like it was in New York. That's what he was saying. That's what Florio was referencing. Is how Rodgers called out the leaks in New York. I bet you there are leaks in New York, but still, like. Dude, go back through the times, okay? Go back through the times. The Deontay Johnson, Mitch Trubisky situation. Nobody brought that up for like a full year, okay?
Yeah.
Matt Canada getting fired. Nobody, not a single person thought it was happening until literally the moment it happened. Nobody had any indication that we all thought it should happen for a year and a half. It should happen, but it was dead silent for right up until the moment that Art Rooney said it's over. You're gone. We still, and try again, like I believe I know how that went down, but I'm not going to say exactly how that went down. But we still are all kind of interpreting did Kenny want to be a backup or did he say F off? I'm not going to be a backup to Mason Rudolph. What do you think I am, a joke? It's pretty rock solid in Pittsburgh. They're pretty good at not letting this stuff out to ruin everything George Pickens shows up 2 hours before the Christmas game. We find out 2 months later. It's pretty big. They're pretty good compared to most markets when it comes to this stuff. There was no tests.